Okay.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in today, guys. We're gonna be doing a video here on Sharon and Boomer's puppies. They're 1 day away from being 14 days old. So they're 13 days old, almost 2 weeks old. So we got Angie hanging out here. They're going through her program, and I'll let her kind of introduce the puppies and go through what we're gonna be doing today. So go ahead, Angie.
Hello everyone. So we have our females in this basket, you can tell by the pink bow, and our males over here, 4 females, 4 males. The babies are 13 days old today. So we are nearing the end of our early neurological stimulation and scent. So I'll just show you quickly how we do that. They're gorgeous, gorgeous puppies, good and healthy. And you can see the curl coat coming into them.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this stage.
I definitely notice it on like the top of the back, like in between the shoulders.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
Their eyes are opening too.
Oh,
Forgot
yeah.
to mention that. So we've got a couple of them that are peeking, a couple that have them open already. But it's just a real quick 30-second touch. So we hold the puppy upright for 5 seconds, and then we hold it down for 5 seconds. On their back for 5. Oh no. Stimulate their paws. And their little paws go into a cold rag. Just a sensory on the bottom of their paws. And then we weigh them. So we weigh them and chart them. A little noisy today. I get hungry. This little one weighs 2.17. After we weigh, we go right into scent, which today's scent is chamomile. I'm gonna pop that lid open.
Absolutely, I got you.
And these scents are fun to watch. So if you can zoom in and capture this, sometimes I can feel them relieve their body, mold into the can. Yep, there goes the face. So as long as they enjoy the scent or the fragrance, then they get up to 30 seconds. And it just took a sigh. You probably couldn't, like how the head drops down. And when they're finished, they usually lift up and pop their head away. Or they continue to enjoy it. This is one that they don't mind usually. They usually all love it. Okay, I guess that's enough. We're not gonna show off today, huh?
Yeah.
No? So that's what we do with them at this point at 13. That happens all the way up to day 16. At day 16, they start into their transitional phase. So this phase right here, 0 birth to 2 weeks old, we call it the neonate phase. Pod to puppy is kind of another reference to it. So they come from little pods to turning into puppies. Ears start to open, eyes start to open, they start to move around, they start to interact with one another. It's the fun stage. Real fun to watch that, the world start to open up for them. Coming into life is kind of a nice phrase for that stage. So week 3, week 2 to week 3 is when they just kind of chill a little bit. So we introduce the pee pads to them, still touching, always touching, so that they're being stimulated that way, but just gentle. And then at week 3 is where we really start our curriculum and start to introduce things based upon their age. And week 3 to week 4 is all about sound. So by that point, the little ears, let's get at the ears. I want to show you the cavity of the ear, which is just so interesting to me. When they're born, these ears are completely closed. And usually by this stage, you can start to see just a little bit of opening there. See that? And the best part is whenever I approach, you'll start to see them startle a bit. That means that their hearing is starting to open up. But there's actually a little canal in there starting to show. So then we start working on their sound next. So when their eyes and ears are closed, we work with their body movements, changing the blood flow in the body, and we work with their scent, because those are 2 active things that are active within the puppy at that point. And then at week 3, the ears are open. So we start with ears. And then as we go through our program, we work with mobility,
Absolutely.
We work with textures.
When it comes to working with the ears, like what does that look like?
So it is with the help of YouTube or Spotify.
Okay.
We have a playlist. But the biggest thing for me is fireworks. Those are it happens only once a year, really, maybe twice. And it's extreme noise for puppies. We also do sweepers. We do live sweepers, so we run sweepers. I use a washer and dryer sound. Thunderstorms is another big one. And the biggest thing about the way we raise puppies is that at this point, you know, they're coming out of their pod, but they're impressionable.
Yeah. And
setting a foundation at this level sets an adult dog up for life with exposures that you can't ever get that back. I have so many families that have told me how they can't, like thunderstorms, their dogs are not scared by it. There's no thunder jackets. Fireworks, the same thing. So it's not 100% guarantee, but you know what? If they're exposed,
it helps.
We've done the best we can. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep. And right now they don't know what they should be scared of or what
right.
Exactly.
Right. That's actually a very good comment, because during the sound therapy, part of that is that we want to slightly stress them, and that's what ENS does. That vertical and the positioning is slightly stressing their system, their neurological system. We want to do the same with sound, slightly stress them. During just that 3 to 4 week window, that's it. At 4 weeks of your stage starts. But what happens is when they're slightly stressed and they have others to cradle them, it's like a neutral position for them. So they're finding fear, but they're finding a neutralized position with their littermates. Yeah. So the littermates do it.
Yep.
They do all the work. Yeah, but at 4 weeks we stop sound, intense sound. So I don't ever play fireworks again. I will continue with continual sounds in their life. So things like sweepers, those kind of things, airplanes. Mainly I try to get them outside for those sound exposures.
Absolutely.
But I do introduce those throughout. A door slamming, we slam a lot of doors. Yep, intentionally. So
someone running up the stairs.
Yeah, that wouldn't be me, but maybe Jay can run up the stairs.
Forgot something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's awesome.
So the other thing we do, which is really nifty, we start some preliminary grooming. So with our handling, actually that's another thing that starts at week 3. We start our 10-step touch, and we do that from week 3 to week 8, and it just intensifies as we go. But it's rubbing the head, rubbing the ears, down across the nose. You're beautiful. Tapping the nose, because that's a little unusual feeling. Opening the mouth. So at this point, we're feeling to see if there's teeth, but also for the vet, when the vet has to check. Down the feet, reverse pet. So this is unusual, everybody would pet this way, so we reverse pet them. So they get used to that. We roll the tail, we tug on the tail. They're doing phenomenal. Obviously back on their back, roll on their tummy. Return them upright, and then whenever we're finished, even with ENS, I skip that step, it's always up against the heart. So we need to find a neutral position again, just reground them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we do. So part of that is the stimulation of the paws. So from the 0 to 16, we're always touching these paws, right? Well, then we also do that from week 3 to week 8, and all of that does is prepare them for toes being clipped.
Yeah. Everyone knows their neighbor's dog that doesn't like their toes trimmed. So,
or their own dog that doesn't, yeah. And I have to say that
nobody wants to admit it.
No. But I have to, some do better than others, but they all do quite well. So generally I have reports back from groomers that are just like, I'll groom that dog any day. Well, that's because of the handling. It's because of this. We actually, as they progress, I should have mentioned too, we pat them, because the first thing an elderly person or a child will do is come up and pat a dog.
Yep.
So all of those.
Get them used to it.
Yeah. Yep. Beautiful little babies. And I'm going to show you how I trim their nails. There it is.
Yeah.
I tucked it away.
Are we done with the scent?
We're done with the scent.
Okay.
Yep, for that one.
Lid on it.
I take their little paw. I actually try and push the toe pad out and just trim the very ends. You can see the whites. There's two different colors of white. So this is the older white. That's what I'm trimming. This is the new growth. And as they mature, I'll trim more of that. There'll be more pink and less white. And occasionally I get them just a smidge too short, but we try not to. But right now this is 13 days, so I try to trim their nails between 10 and 13 because they get almost like an owl's, like a prong kind of on them. And this can cause injury to the other puppies, but mainly to mama when they start nursing. Can cause injury to her stomach. And we want to make sure mommy stays good and free of any scratches down there.
At this age, do you normally get any type of cry or anything from the puppies, or they just pretty much?
You know, not generally by day 13. Not this part. By 2 weeks, usually we can handle them pretty well. And
But I mean, just from the trimming.
Oh, from the trimming? No, I know. And really, the hardest point is probably between week 2 and week 4 is where it's kind of a wrestling event. And after week 4, they'll just sit on my lap and I just pull the ball up here and pop, 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 pop. Now at week 4, this hair starts to grow. So it's a little more work for me because I have to push it out and kind of pull back some of the hair on the pads. The other thing we do, we make sure that we start our grooming. So we'll trim little butts. We call it our fanny trim. Trim that, keep them clean, make sure everything's good and sterilized for them so they stay healthy because mama stimulates all of this from 0 to about 2.5 weeks till they start to eliminate on their own. And if there's anything that gets stuck back there, it could cause a puppy to get bloated and go backwards quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, raising puppies is kind of an art. You have to watch for certain signs, but when they're doing really well, they're doing really well. When they go backwards fast. So we do everything we can to keep them just as healthy as can be.
Yeah, they seem to be doing great. I mean, everyone's just seems content. Like we got one laying on the back over here.
That starts at about this age too. You'll start seeing them sleep on their sides. A little more this week.
Yeah.
Before, from 0 to 2 weeks, they're always on their stomachs.
Which is crazy, but it's a good thing though. I've seen
it. Is.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a very relaxed. I mean, he's just curled up in there. Like, no care in the world.
No fear,
So,
right?
Yeah.
No fear.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
really looking forward to the next couple weeks. I mean, this is where it really starts getting exciting as far as like, it's just them being more mobile, starting to be more just figuring stuff out as far as just being able to move around and use potty pads and all that stuff kind of comes into play, which is very neat. So super excited to see that.
Their hair coat is amazing too. It's super silky, very silky and very soft. But the curl that's in these puppies they're gonna have a beautiful coat as an adult. Because generally at 2 weeks, this much curl is not that visible. That generally comes between 3 and 4.
I've really noticed that with this litter.
Early on they've been curly, and these are F1s. So.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned that in last week's video. You talked about already seeing some curl, and that was like at
they were
6,
just a week,
and it was,
right, yeah.
So very neat to see.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful puppies, and Mama's doing a great job. Our team's doing fabulous with them, and so we've got some exciting things.
Everyone doing their best and keeping them up, and we got one dreaming over here, Chris. So you want to grab that, or maybe I might have messed it up. There we go. Yeah.
Wow.
When we got one.
The face structure on them is beautiful too.
Absolutely.
There's a real wide, blocky structure.
Yeah.
Even on the females, I noticed a few of these have a real, and I absolutely love that in F1s because that's just gives them that strong look with curl. Just some really, really striking.
And sometimes you'll see like your F1s sometimes tend to have a little bit more of a snoot or a little bit, and that's something like these guys, I don't see that being really a thing with these guys, so, which is awesome. So,
oh, they're gonna start talking. They've been in their basket, they're getting hungry.
Yeah, again guys, this is Sharon and Boomer's litter. They're 13 days old, and they're doing great. I mean, Angie's been doing a phenomenal job with her program and everything, and I mean, just looking at these guys, they look absolutely stunning, absolutely phenomenal job here, and
they're
I mean,
melty.
Yeah, exactly. And this is life. I mean, hanging out with puppies all the time, it's phenomenal.
It's wholesome.
So, yeah, but if you guys have any questions for Angie and I about the program or availability, feel free to reach out to us. You know where to find us. I'll have our contact information down here. And of course, if you're interested in some Bernedoodle content here, we do have a separate page on Instagram. So if you look at Mountain Dog Bernedoodles, we do have that separate page just focusing in on the Bernedoodles for us here. So we try and keep the good content coming every day. We try and post a couple times a day. So if you're interested in that, feel free to give us a follow over there. But thanks for tuning in today, guys, and I guess we'll see you next time.